Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're returning. Today, we're going to talk about leadership in small business. Specifically, I'm going to be breaking down 8 ways to lead in your company, whether it's a VA, a full-time employee, an in-person part-time employee, any contractors you work with, ways to lead that make people love working for you and that help you create a company culture that make the business you've started a wonderful place to work at. And I don't see this talked about enough. I think it's really, really important to think about ways to make our company a great place to work. I'm annoyed by my lighting. Let me just see if I can fix that and make that a little better. Okay, I think that's a little better. All right. Well, we're going to get started anyway. Excuse that my face is only half lit. So, if you're new to me, my name is Sarah. I'm a certified life and business coach, and I help heart centered service providers, spiritual practitioners, and creatives build the lives and businesses of their dreams. And for a lot of the people that I work with, I know that this was true for me. I was never a manager or like a higher up managing people in other jobs before I had my own businesses. So my first experiences of management were managing myself and then eventually managing a team of contractors and then managing employees. And so there are a lot of people I work with who are similar. We've never had a managerial position. We haven't been trained in leadership, especially not on like a higher level. And most of the people I work with are very kind, very sensitive, very generous, also tend to be a little hyper independent. I'll just do it myself. And the downside of this in leadership is we really need to be able to give people feedback. We need to be able to communicate our wants and our needs and our standards very clearly and kindly. We need to be able to let people know when those standards aren't being met or when tasks are not being done to our satisfaction. We need to be able to let people go when we realize that it's not a good fit, but we also need to be able to recognize and celebrate people. And the tendency, if you err on the side of being a little bit people pleasery and or a little bit hyper independent, is that when people aren't doing tasks to our satisfaction, we can just take that task back and be like, it's fine, I'll do it myself. And that does not help. I've definitely been in the position where I've kept people on payroll way too long because I felt uncomfortable about having the difficult conversation to let them go. It is just a challenging thing to run a team and to manage people well. Some of my best favorite feedback I've ever gotten as a business owner didn't come from clients. It came from exit interviews with people leaving my company who said they loved working for me, that they loved the way that we run things, that they're taking things from the way that I do things in my business and going to apply them to their other client work. Those are some of the best compliments I've gotten because it really shows me how much I've learned, how much I've grown, and how far I've come as a leader. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're a leader. Even if you're a solopreneur, you're leading your clients, you're leading yourself. But if you're ever going to expand to working with anyone, even with contractors, you are leading a team. You need to be able to enroll people into your vision and empower them to do a really good job. And so even though this isn't on the list, I would say the very first thing I want to share is like hire people smarter than you. Hire people who are better at than you at the thing you're hiring them for. So I'm a decent graphic designer. I can throw something together in Canva that looks okay. But if I'm going to bring a graphic designer onto my team, I'm going to hire someone way better than I am at graphic design so that I can get the elevated result that I'm looking for. I'm a decent copywriter, but if I'm going to hire a copywriter, I'm looking for someone way better than me. And that's what I'm looking for in their work samples. There's a goal that I have to always be, or at least a lot of the time, be the worst person in the room in terms of technique or skill level, the dumbest person in the room, because those are the rooms where we learn. And so if we find ourselves in an ego position where we're like, well, they're doing okay, but I could do it better, those are not the people to have on your team. People who hire your friends and your past clients because you want to put them on, I'm looking at you. Do not hire people that you need to train for any position that you are off loading to someone else because you need someone who can do a better job than you, right? Like, we're not the best at everything. And if we're going to spend the money to hire someone, we should be looking to hire people who can elevate the entire vision of the company, not put ourselves in a position where we're hiring people who might be a culture fit. We like them, we like talking to them, we like working with them, but they are not so stellar at the thing that we're hiring for them for. We don't want to get into a position where we have to teach them everything about how to do the job, and they are not able to perform to our standards or our satisfaction. Don't set yourself up. Hire people better than you. So that was not on the list, but I guess now it's 9 things. So the first one is invest in your people. Don't look to get the cheapest support that you can get. There are a lot of coaches out there who will encourage you to hire a virtual assistant from India or the Philippines who's $3 to $5 an hour and try to offload a lot of high level work to them. I see people all the time saying, well, I hired a VA from the Philippines and they're $4 an hour. And I asked them to write all of my marketing content and do all of my graphics for me, and they didn't do a great job. What should I do? My answer is hire experts. It's not as cheap, but you're hiring someone who really is in a position to do lower level admin work and then tasking them with doing high level creative work that is specialty work. If someone's going to be a really skilled graphic designer, they've really worked on that skill for a long time and they're going to charge appropriately. If someone is a marketing copywriter, they're someone who really worked on that skill and you're going to get charged appropriately. So don't try to cut corners. Don't try to get the cheapest employees. Again, look for the people who are going to elevate the operation. And if you can't afford to get a full team in place of people who can elevate the operation, you may be looking at work that you can do in a smarter way on contract. Hire a brand designer to create the branding for your company and get you social media templates, and then hire a VA who's just going to use those templates, right? Like, hire the right person for the right job, but you will end up wasting a lot of money and a lot of your own time if you try to hire the least expensive person for the job versus hiring the best person for the job. And if we can't afford to pay our team well, we may not actually be ready to hire. And I know that that can be a tough pill to swallow. And again, I have nothing against VAs from the Philippines. I have worked with graphic designers from the Philippines. I have worked with virtual assistants from India. I have totally had lovely experiences working with people from overseas. But for one thing, I do think it's exploitative as a US based business to seek out hiring overseas labor at the cheapest price you possibly can. I think there's something that we might want to examine in that approach to globalization in our own small businesses. And also, if we are going to hire someone for an administrative position, we need to be giving them administrative tasks and not asking them to do things that are really specialty skills that people go to school for and spend a lot of money to learn. So invest in your people. It is the most important investment you can make in your business. Invest in your team. Now, number 2 is know that these people are not going to work for you forever. I've had people say, well, what if I hire someone and they learn all the systems in my business and they see how I run my back end and then they quit? They're going to quit. No one is going to work for your little company for the rest of their life. This is a stepping stone position for them. So first of all, don't be afraid of that. Second of all, I think sometimes the reason that people are afraid of that is because they are hiring friends, past clients, colleagues, people who want to do the same thing as you, who may be using your business to gain experience for their own business. That's not necessarily who you should be hiring. Those people should be paying you for mentorship. If you're hiring someone, again, it's because they can do something that you can't do, or they can do something better than you can do it. So if I'm hiring a graphic designer to work in my business, their goal is not to become a business coach. They're not looking to come into my world and steal all my trade secrets. They already have their own thing going on. I have a project manager in my business, and her goal is not to be a business coach. She is a project manager. That's what she does. That is her skill. That's her talent. So the idea that someone's going to come into your business and steal all your trade secrets, I would look back at, like, who are you hiring, and are you hiring people who have the goal of replicating your business, or are you hiring people who can add to your team, who have their own lane, their own craft, their own skill, and that's what they're here to do? But they are not going to work for you forever. So the best thing that you can do, knowing that they're not going to work for you forever, is to actually take interest in what their long-term goals are, and think about the fact that if my business is a stepping stone for your career, how can I help you while you work here? How can I put you in position so that your next move is not a lateral move, it moves you up? Right? What are the skills you can gain here? What are the responsibilities I can give you here? What support, what training can I get for you while you're working here, so that you are using this position to help you reach your goals? Those types of things build so much loyalty and change the way that people relate to you and to your company, because you are showing that you take an interest in them, in their career, and in their long-term development. My virtual assistant really wants to do video production. That's his passion. And so we've had a lot of conversations about him starting to do video editing, video production, filming things for the company, so that he's building up his portfolio and his reel. He does eventually want to have his own video production company. And so I've put him in charge of social media management and things like that, where there is training that he's getting for that. Part of investing in my people, I'm teaching him what I can. But I've also said, is this something you're really interested in? And if the answer is yes, the company will pay for you to take a course in this so that you can do it for the business. I benefit from that directly, but also that's the kind of job people want to stay at. They're like, hey, she knows I'm not going to work here forever, but she also is helping me reach my goals. And so now I want to stay here as long as possible, because I'm learning all of these things, where when I leave this position, I can apply for a higher level position somewhere else and get a reference and have work to show for it. Those are the kinds of things that make people value working for you for their own reasons, beyond just that they like you, beyond that they like what the company does and they like the product that you create. They feel cared for, and they have a personal investment in staying and working hard, because they're technically getting to learn and grow on your dime. They're gonna leave anyway. But caring about where they want to go when they leave, and trying to make your business a stepping stone for that, is something that people don't forget. When they look back on their career, they say, that was a job that was pivotal for my growth. And that's something that is important to me. So, number 3, make it your goal to help them reach their goals. So this is a piggyback on knowing that they're not going to work with you forever. And I did talk about this a little bit, this idea of a stepping stone for them. But when I give someone a project that they say that they want, it is also now something that I'm taking on, of being able to check in with them. How is this process going for you? Are you liking this course? Did you complete it? How is it going? Are you reaching your goals, not just in the work that you're doing with me, but outside? Are you getting enough time to study for this test that you want to take? Are you getting enough downtime? Like, are your goals being met as you work here? Is your experience of being here, that this is not just supportive to your career goals, but this is supportive to the rest of your life? Because again, people aren't going to work for us forever, and nobody wants to work to live. So they want to feel like, man, I work at a place where they really care about what's going on with me, the things that I'm doing, whether or not I'm reaching my personal goals, if I'm getting enough downtime, if I'm, oh, you told me that one of your goals this year was to read more. What books are you reading? Really care about whether or not the people who work for you are reaching their own goals, and do what you can within the company to create an environment that facilitates people reaching their personal goals. And again, that's something that's going to make them really invested in doing the best job they can for the company, because you care about them. Now, the next thing is hold your standards. This one takes practice, and it is difficult to communicate when things are not being done up to your standard. but it does you no favors to let things slide, especially early on. So if you have to send work back and say, hey, we're almost there. This is pretty good. Here are my notes. This needs to be like this. This needs to be like that. This thing is missing this. Can you fix these things and get it back to me? And in the future, here are the things I want you to be looking for. So we're training them into our standards. We're teaching them what we're looking for and how to give us back work that we approved the first time. And if we don't do that at the beginning, that's how we end up in those situations where someone's performance has been on the decline for a really long time and they don't find out about it until you're saying, hey, this isn't working out. You're not giving them a fair chance to fix things. We want to get good at communicating our standards, communicating our needs, and holding those standards and holding those needs. Everyone on my team knows exactly how I like things to be done. They know the tone that we communicate with our clients with. They know the things that are the most important to me. And most of those for me are the things that are forward facing. If something is going to be seen by a client or on social media, if something is going to be public, I have very high standards for that because people don't know it's not me producing it. People don't know that something that has my name on it wasn't posted by me. And so it needs to be up to a certain standard for me to be happy with signing off on it and saying, yeah, that's something I could have done or better. And by making sure that everyone on the team knows what those things are, it actually makes my job easier because now everyone on the team watches out for each other. Things go through and they're like, fix this before it goes out, right? Because they all know, everyone knows what we're looking for. Everyone knows what the standard is. I have enrolled us all into a standard of excellence. Even my virtual assistant who is posting in Facebook groups and sending out admin emails, he knows that his role is so critically important here because he's the actual first line of the company. People are interacting with him more often than anyone else because he's the person who's posting these things and sharing these things. And he knows that all of our clients are the lifeblood of this company. That's how everyone's salaries get paid. So everyone has a personal investment in making sure that any work that is going to see the light of day is nurturing to our clients, is loving, is thoughtful, is caring, is up to par with the experience that we want our clients to have. And we all share an investment in maintaining that standard. And everyone knows that if there's anything that's going to make me be like, I'm seriously reconsidering taking this work back from you, mom gets stern, it is when there are forward facing problems that clients can experience. And so when they know that, everyone knows what the standards are. There are no surprises. Everyone knows how to do their work to the standard that it needs to be done. And that does mean that in the early stages, in the training period, when someone's coming on board, you need to be giving them really clear, honest feedback and articulating exactly what it is that you want, which means you have to know exactly what it is that you want. And you have to know exactly what your standards are and how to share those standards with other people and how to express why is this thing important? Why is your part of this mission so critical that we need you to be able to perform it at this certain level? And what are the things that you're looking for when you look at their work so that they can start to think like you think? I don't want people to be sitting around waiting for me to lead them. I don't want people to be sitting around waiting for me to give them the yes or the no. It's so much more effective if I can train people to think like I think, to understand what it is that I'm looking for when I look for something, and to use that rubric to make their own decisions. That's when you start developing a team in which everyone is a leader and everyone can lead themselves through producing the highest quality work possible. Next, this ties right in, be consistent. You have to be consistent with your feedback. You can't let things slide sometimes and not others. You can't let some people slide on some things and not others. If you say this is how we do things, that's how it's done. And you have to do it that way too, every single time, because people actually feel safest when they know what to expect, when they know that there are consistent across the board ways that things operate, not just consequences when things don't go well, but rewards when things do go well. If you're celebrating one person's birthday in your company, you're celebrating all the birthdays. If you are sending messages into the group chat to congratulate someone on achieving a goal, you're doing that for everyone. The more consistent you are, just like any other relationship, the more people feel safe and feel like they can trust you, and they get to relax because they always know what's happening and they always know how things are going to operate. So that is your self leadership in performing consistently from day to day. Be communicative. Let people know what's going on with you. Let people know when there's going to be a slowdown. Let people know when they should be anticipating a speed up. Let people know how you're feeling about their performance. Schedule regular check-ins, schedule regular performance reviews, schedule regular how's this working for you conversations, and get feedback from your team and share with them how things are going for you. The more communicative you are, the better. So, number 7 is help people and train people. Now, I know that I said you don't want to hire people who you have to train into their job, and that's true, but there will still be things about the way you like things done in your company or your systems that require some training. And you want to make sure that people get the training they need to be successful at their position. The way that I see leadership is like if the company is a bowl, I'm the bottom of the bowl. My job is to make sure every single person on the team has everything they need to do their job effectively. And if they don't, if they're stuck, if they don't know how to ask questions, if they are afraid to ask questions, if they don't know where to find information, that means as the leader, I'm failing. I'm letting them down. They should always know where to get the information that they need to be successful at any task you're asking them to do. One of the easiest ways to do this is with SOPs. I don't know about you, but I don't love being asked the same question over and over. And I don't like teaching the same thing over and over. I'm not interested in teaching every new person who comes in how to do administrative tasks. So we have a video SOP library. It's really easy to start your own. Basically, every time you do a task that you plan to delegate in the future, open up Zoom, share your screen, record it to your computer, and make a video of here's how we schedule a marketing email. Here's how we do client onboarding. Here's how we queue up Instagram posts in Public. Whatever it is that is a task that you do regularly, video yourself doing it. Then you can run it through an AI or you can do it yourself. Just write out what the steps are and save it. Now you have an SOP, a video training SOP for how to do that task. One of the reasons that people have said that they love working for my company is that every single task they're going to be asked to do, there's a video training and written out steps for it, which means every time they go to do that task, they can just pull up that video and watch it and walk themselves through the steps. They don't need me. They don't need a manager. They don't need someone to walk them through it. They can do it on their own. And if they have any questions, they know they can always ask. But every single thing they need is accessible for them at any moment, which also means they could be working in the middle of the night. They can be in a different time zone. They can be on vacation. It doesn't matter where they are. They don't have to worry about waiting for someone to help them walk through something. Everything that they need is right there for them. That's part of my job in empowering people to make sure they have all of the resources they need. And then again, on training people, if there's something that person really wants to do that would benefit the company, consider if it's worth it for you to get them training in that area, because it will benefit the company for them to learn it and to bring that skill into your business. And it allows them to use your business as a stepping stone for their next position. So the last one, and I think you felt a little bit of this in what I just said about helping people and training people, and this one's hard, is to take 100% accountability for everything. Everything that goes well in the business gets to be your celebration, and everything that goes poorly in the business gets to be your fault. Now, maybe if someone like steals from you or something that's like really out of pocket, that's on them. But if people are making mistakes, if people are not able to accomplish the tasks that you're asking of them, if people are having difficult interpersonal communication, everything that happens in my company is on me. If people do not have the resources they need to succeed at their job, I'm not succeeding at leading the team. And so my 100% accountability for everything that goes on in the company puts me in a position to also be really clear about what I need to do. Because if I have an employee who's making consistent forward facing mistakes and I let them keep doing that, it's actually not on that person. It's on me. It's my company. I'm the boss. And so this ties right back in to having standards, holding your standards, and being consistent, because I really do move as though every single thing that goes wrong is my fault. We all have probably seen it when someone throws their team member under the bus and someone says, oh, well, it wasn't me. An assistant did that. Somebody else did that. Nobody cares. If it's your company, if your name is on the door, then it's yours to own. It's yours to hold. It's yours to figure out how to problem solve. It's yours to figure out how to fix. So if that means this person needs more training, it's your job to get them more training. If this means this person is actually not the best fit for the company and we need to let them go, it's your job to let them go. If this means that this person has been asked to do something that is not actually in their wheelhouse or their skill set to do, it's on you to reassign them to a different task. Everything comes back to your willingness to take 100% responsibility for every single thing that is happening on your watch in your company. And when you do that, it becomes a lot easier to lead, because I'm not just taking ownership of my behavior, I'm taking ownership of everything that's happening. And if it's mine to own, then I know how I would handle it. And that's how we're handling things. So those are my tips. It turned out to be 9, but the 9 things that you can do to make your company an amazing place to work. Ooh, one last thing I will say on that, taking accountability for everything and how this can look in a situation where something is not going well. I've actually apologized to people for not setting them up to succeed rather than criticize them for not being able to do the task I've asked of them. It's a very different approach as a leader to come to someone and say, you know what? I think I made a mistake in giving you this task. I think it might have been too much too soon. And I did not put you in position to succeed at this task. And I own that. Here's what do you think we should do to fix it? Here's how I think we should move forward from here. Do you agree with that assessment? And that is also a very different leadership position than coming in and saying, you did this wrong. You're not doing things up to par. You're not meeting the standards. It's a very different thing to come in and say, I think I misjudged how big of a project this was. Do you need more help? It's a very different approach. And it also makes people feel like you care about them and you're invested in their success rather than you're just here to tell them what to do and point fingers at them. Okay, so now I'm done. Those were the 9 things that I think you can do to lead people well and to make your business an amazing place to work. And this is true whether you're working with contractors, part-time people, virtual assistants, in-person employees. Let me know what you think about this. If you have a team and you agree with the things I said, I'd love to hear that in the comments. If you've never had a team before and this gave you some things to think about, I would love to hear that as well. And I will share that leadership and learning how to delegate is a key part of what we're going to be doing together if you apply for my brand new S.C.A.L.E mentorship. The S.C.A.L.E package, it stands for, I'm completely blanking on my acronym, systems, courses, automation, leadership expansion. And it is a 6-month program in which I'm going to be walking business owners through getting your business in position to scale so that you can serve hundreds and thousands of people without sacrificing your quality of life, your lifestyle, or your sanity. And we are really going to be dialing into leadership in the leadership month, in month 4 of the program, and helping you both with self-leadership and with management of your team or getting in position to manage a team. This program is going to become a mastermind, but it is brand new and it's in beta right now. So I'm taking 5 entrepreneurs through the curriculum privately, one-on-one, at a fraction of the price that the program will be when it is a mastermind. So that program is open for application right now, and I only have 4 spots left. If this sounds like something you're interested in, and if you are, especially if you're a solopreneur, you've been doing everything by yourself, and you know that you're going to need to build systems, build frameworks, build processes, and grow a team in order to take your business to the next level, even if it's just one assistant and you, this would be a really wonderful place to get the mentorship and the training that you need, as well as hands-on practical support to build the back-end systems in your business that will allow you to do that. So I'm going to put the link for that in the show notes. And again, I have 4 more spots for that. If you're watching this at some time in the future and the mentorship is closed, when you click on it, it will just take you either to the page for the mastermind if that's open, or to a waitlist page for the mastermind if it's not open yet. But if you're seeing this in January of 2024, when the video goes out, I have 4 spots left, and I would love to support you in getting your business prepared to scale to the next level. That's it for me today. Okay, love you. Bye.